Honestly, this comes off of these two being a part of the news videos, and honestly, the news videos are something that I've used to create other content before, and it was just a simple match. I mean, the match ended surprisingly via countout. And it's just because Braun Strowman took a little extra second to get out of the ring to come down and break the count. And, my eyes were glazed over as I was Keith Lee. I am Keith Lee again. But it's just the fact that Keith's eyes were glazed over for a little too long, and Braun took advantage of it. Braun got the count out. And that's where this match leads to now. I mean, yes, I could have did 2 out of 3 falls. I could have did no count out. I could have did whatever the case is, but I chose not to, and just to do another simple rematch. See what it has to do as Keith Lee takes down Braun Strowman with a surprising takedown, the likes of which I've only seen from Bray Wyatt. This sort of striking crossbody as Keith Lee and Braun get back into the ring. Braun rolls out of the way and beheads Keith Lee almost with that lariat. Big, he picks him up. Just look at how high Keith Lee looks like he is up off the ground on the shoulder of Braun Strowman as Braun just walks over Keith like it's nothing. Keith grabs a foot and takes him over with a dragon screw. Elbow drop. Elbow drop on Keith Lee. And another surprising. I don't know if that's a crossbody. I mean, it's just so quick. You wouldn't expect that from somebody the size of Keith Lee to be that quick, but Keith Lee is exactly the opposite of what you would expect for somebody his size. And that makes him even more unique than you would have thought. As Keith Lee is now taking it to Strowman. Strowman gets taken down. The back of Strowman has definitely been the target of Keith Lee in this matchup. Keith, he tried to heave Strowman, but that's no easy task, even the monster among men. Shoulder block. I don't know how Braun fell down. He didn't connect smooth, did Keith Lee, but Strowman still went down. And a big splash train incoming from Keith Lee as now Keith is going to the top rope. Bask in Keith Lee's glory with a picture-perfect moonsault. If I was Keith Lee, I would have went for the cover right off the moonsault and not gave him an extra second to recover. But he did that, and that may have cost him the match. As you don't know, that may have resulted in a 3, but that might just be my inexperience. I'm not the one in the ring. Keith catches him and takes him down. Another cover from Keith Lee. Every cover he does, it takes a little bit more from Braun Strowman to kick out. And in my opinion, the ref may have been a little out of position in that one, or with that one. Keith goes for a kick. Braun catches him. Braun goes for a kick and Keith catches him. And then powers him down. It's always impressive when you see two people the size of Keith Lee and Braun Strowman fighting, and still that they could still show the power that they show with smaller opponents. That's the word. Still have the ability to show power. It's impressive, and it shows how strong these two men are. Keith tries to roll away, but Strowman is waiting for him, and Keith catches Strowman, and again catches Strowman with that striking crossbody like he's been doing. That seems to be his go-to to take down Strowman. Keith goes back to the moonsault, and this time follows it up with a lot of press like he should have did the first time, but still gets a 2 count. Strowman has got to get out of his own way in this one, because it's been mostly Keith. It's been mostly Keith Lee in this one, much to the chagrin of the monster among men. The monster blocks Keith Lee, and Keith DDTs him, drops the monster. He catches him. He might be too close to the ropes, though. Spirit bomb by Keith Lee, and he is in fact too close to the ropes. That saves Braun Strowman. Braun blocks Keith Lee's right hand, and immediately just powers him up with a military press slam. Impressive bit of offense from Braun Strowman, and Keith Lee just picks him up like it's nothing and slams him down. Could this be it? Could this be it? No! Braun just pops the shoulder up. Braun pops the shoulder up. Keith Lee is surprised. I think all of us thought it was it, but Braun keeps himself in this matchup and keeps the match going. Braun keeps himself in the match and keeps the match going. Keith, it kept trying to rock the Monster Among Men. He kept trying to rock the Monster Among Men, but the punches might not have done it, but that knee right to the sternum, right to the mush of Braun may have done exactly what he was looking to do. Right hand rocks the Monster Among Men. Keith Lee is just... I mean, I don't know what Keith Lee's doing, but whatever he is doing... Wait a second. Braun! Yokosuka cutter by Braun Strowman. Takes down Keith Lee from out of nowhere, and Keith somehow powers out of it at the count of one. I mean, before the count of one. Yokosuka cutter takes down Keith Lee. And Keith powers out before the count of one. He just powers down Strowman. He picks his spot and goes for the lateral press, and Strowman kicks out. I mean, if I was Keith Lee, I would at least consider the idea that maybe I wasted a little too much time. Big spinebuster takes down Keith Lee. Again, it's impressive when both men show the power that they've shown in this one. Even against opponents of this size, it's still impressive either way that they're still able to show the type of power that they're showing in this matchup. Braun is positioned on the ropes. And Keith Lee, he just picks Strowman and heaves him over the top rope, down to the floor. Keith Lee just heaves Strowman like he's nothing. I don't know if it's just a sight you'd see in WWE 2K or something you could see in real life. Either way, Keith Lee is impressive. Keith Lee is more than impressive. Keith Lee just bobs over the top rope like it's nothing. Keith Lee bobs over the top rope like it's nothing. And he takes a second to bask in his glory. He takes a second for everyone to bask in his glory. And now back into the ring they go. Keith goes for Strowman a little too soon, but still has the offensive. Strowman's going up top. Strowman and Keith are going up top. Wait a second. Keith Lee's going for a suplex off the top rope. Keith Lee's going for a suplex off the top rope. And the ring just collapsed. The ring just collapsed. Keith Lee wins by ring collapse. Keith Lee wins by ring collapse. I don't believe it. 2 matches between these 2 men and 2 unexpected finishes, but this one definitely is 100% more unexpected than the last. Either way, you gotta figure that there is some unfinished business between Keith Lee and Braun Strowman, and maybe we'll see one last match between these two in a match where you have to see a finish. With that being said, that is it for me, and I will see you in the next one.